Alright, so let's talk about Google Merchant Center, the heart of your business. So as I explained in the previous modules, the Google Merchant Center, aka the GMC, is in the middle. So you have Shopify, you have your Google Ads on the right side, and in the middle you have Google Merchant Center. It connects both together. Google Merchant Center maintains all the data about your store, about your sales, about revenue spent, about how much came in. It is literally a collection of all the data you need. In Meta, you would say the pixel is the most important thing. Well, in Google, it's the Google Merchant Center. A Google Merchant Center, unfortunately, can also get suspended, but we'll talk about that in the next modules. I already mentioned it quite a bit of times, how to prevent it from getting suspended and so on. But let's talk about how to set up a Google Merchant Center and what can you do in a Google Merchant Center. So we go to merchants.google.com. What we try and do, and honestly this is a preference from us, you can do it, you can also not, is for every Google store, we create a separate email and a separate Google Ads account on that email that we just created. And on that email, we also create the Google Merchant Center account. So every store is literally stored on separate at Gmail. So let's say your store is called macbookfashion.com. Well, you're gonna create a Gmail called macbookfashion@gmail.com, and you're gonna create an email called info@macbookfashion.com. So you can decide if you create the Google Merchant Center and the Google Ads and the Shopify on the @Gmail account or on the info@macbookfashion.com email. Up to you. It doesn't make any difference, but I've also heard that there is quite some trouble getting new @Gmail accounts because of some new Google verification where they ask you to scan a QR code. A workaround is buying aged Gmail accounts from G2G, it's called. So G from gambling. That's the one you're gonna use. Sorry, yesterday we were gambling, and that's why this was the first word that came up in my mind. But you can buy them on there, and you can use them also. That's what we've been doing recently, because with the new QR codes, it's really hard to get Gmail accounts. So, like I said, you create the Shopify account on there, the Google Merchant Center account, and the Google Ads account on that same Gmail or info@mail. So, to create a GMC, you go to merchants.google.com, sign up. Also, something I want to mention before I keep going here is one website domain, so macbookfashion.com, can only be connected to one GMC. Never create multiple GMCs for the same domain, because that will be flagged internally and you will have a really hard time on approving stores. So it's important that one domain has one Google Merchant Center, has one Google Ads account. Everything needs to be streamlined. Like I mentioned at the start of this course, your setup needs to be clean and bulletproof to prevent as much as possible these suspensions. So now we're here. Do you sell products online? Yes, I do. Do you have a physical store? No. Like I said, my store was called macbookfashion.com. Continue. Right. There we scroll down. Continue to Merchant Center. Business name. Don't get confused. The business name is your store name. So here we're going to type MacBook Fashion. Registered country, very important, is the country of your company. If you have a Dutch company, you will put here Netherlands. And that will mean that in your footer, there will also be company address in the Netherlands. Your warehouse address has to be in the United Kingdom if you create a UK store, but the registered country is going to be Netherlands because that's where your company is registered. Continue. All right, address line. This is going to be the address of your company, which you also have the registered documents for. So like I said, we have a Belgium company, but we're acting in this scenario like we have a Dutch company. So the Netherlands company, the address will be, let's say, Revoluto Laan 16 in the city of Amsterdam. There we go. You will have to verify that you own the domain macbookfashion.com. What you can do is, usually I do this one, Shopify. So here it tells you, go to Shopify, Teams, edit code, go to the theme.liquids and copy paste this right before the /head. So you need to copy paste this. It takes about 15 to 30 minutes for Google to index that and find it. So don't worry that when you click verify, it doesn't get approved straight away. It's normal. It takes some time. Or you can just do here the info at, it will send you a code and you prove to Google that, hey, I own this domain. That's why I said one domain, one GMC, nothing more. Select the countries where you want to show your products. Of course, our store was going to be a UK store, so it's going to be United Kingdom. Continue. So this one we're going to skip because we're not going to import the products ourselves into the Google Merchant Center. We will be using an app on Shopify that would automatically sync all the products to the Google Merchant Center. It's super easy, so once you upload products on Shopify, they will automatically get synced to the Google Merchant Center, and also there will be some optimizations done already. So that's really nice. We're not going to do it manually, we just like do it later. Add shipping details for one country, so like we said, our store was United Kingdom. So we go here, continue. All right, delivery locations, of course, at the customer's address. Order cutoff time, this you have to get out of your policies. So I'm gonna go to the shipping policy, I think it is here, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Of course, it's United Kingdom, it's gonna be London. There we go. Handling times, we go back. So it's gonna be 5 to 7. Okay, 5 to 7, and then 5. It's at business days, so business days are from Monday to Friday, and then transit times was gonna be 6 to 9. Let's just make sure the handling time, because I think that's not correct. Here, never mind, 1 to 2 days. Usually we'll be around that, like handling time, aka processing time, is a time that it takes for the factory to see the order, prepare it, and communicate it to the warehouse so they prepare it. And transit times is it got into the bus, it's on the way to the airport, it's getting on the plane, and it's getting to the customer. So that's the transit time. Always mention Monday to Friday because we're talking about business days. We continue. Okay, how to calculate shipping costs. Currency, GBP. We mentioned free shipping in the shipping policy, so make sure to select free shipping here. Save. Continue. So return policy, macbookfashion.com/policy/return policy, I think it is, something like that. You're literally just gonna put the link to your return policy. There we go. Yes, I accept returns from the defective and non-defective products. Yes, I accept exchanges, only new products. Return window, obviously 30 days. And then this, usually it is customer responsibility, restocking fee, no costs, refund processing time. Let's check it out really quick. Refund time, 7 days. There we go. 7 days. Of course, make sure that this is aligned with your policies. Now, I took another store, which I use as an example, but make sure that this is the same as you put on your website. You know, we put the templates there, but you will have to fill in the transit times and all of those variables, depending on your situation with your supplier, obviously. I confirm the information is correct, and I save. And boom, we are in the official Google Merchant Center accounts. It's gonna look like this at the start. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just add some extra info. Obviously, this needs to be verified, so confirm you own the store. And like I said here, we're gonna do, or send the code to your domain, info at, or use Shopify to prove, hey, I own this domain, it's mine. Edit business details. What I like to do here is enter the contact page. So it was called MacBook Fashion. .com/pages/contact. Here you put the email macbookfashion.com, and here we're gonna put the phone number that we bought from Chris Paul, Aircall, whatever. Also important, this one needs to be unique, because sometimes what Google will do is they will literally do this, boom, and then they'll be like, okay, this phone number is related to this store, so there is no way we will approve this store. And I also see they took this phone number from Family Law Portal, which is not even their company, so that's already a red flag. I'm pretty sure this GMC is not even live from this guy, from this Swiss guy. So that's why it's so important to have a unique phone number that is not linked to another company, not linked to another store, nothing. Preferred method, I always put website, save, boom. If you have social media, which I also highly advise to anyone making a Google Merchant Center account, is to have social media. What I mean by that is once you create a website, for example, MacBook Fashion, you're going to create an Instagram page called MacBook Fashion. If the name is taken, call it MacBook Fashion UK, whatever, it doesn't matter. But make sure to add a profile picture, add a bio, and add 25 posts and buy fake followers. It's really important that you do this. And you mentioned it also in your footer somewhere. It can be here, can be here, can be here. You can remove this and maybe add like a social section. Also very important for Google to see, okay, this is a legit business because one, they're on Instagram, they have a phone number, their website looks good. You know, it's all these green flags and Google will be like, okay, safe, you know? And also to keep your GMC alive for longer without suspensions, it's important that you regularly post on those Instagram pages to kind of show to Google, hey, we have online presence, we're an established brand, we're legit. So that's why I advise you to put an Instagram in the footer. Also, social media, you can add Instagram, for example, and here you can add the Instagram page, which will add an extra layer of trust to your website, which is always good. Okay, so once we've done that, I'm gonna go over a few things in the GMC. So obviously this GMC is empty, there's no products yet, but usually you will see the products here. It will look something like this. So in review and then approved. So it will look like that. Here you can kind of see the performance. Obviously we don't look at the performance here. We look at the performance in our Shopify and in our Google Ads. Google Merchant Center is just something that connects all together, but if you want to have accurate look at your analytics, obviously you will go to Shopify or you will go to Google Ads. Like with Meta, you never listen to the suggestions they make for you because they're ridiculous. They just want you to spend more money on stupid recommendations that they have so they make more money on ads, you know? Products, obviously I didn't import any products, but this is where you would see them. There can be warnings and also add some videos about how to handle these warnings and how to resolve them. Needs attention, this is where you will see any kinds of errors. Always click here. No issues for you to fix, that's really good. Shipping policy is all good, it's complete, it's safe. And then here, obviously it's still pending, but should be good in a few hours. And that's honestly it. In the Google Merch Center, like, it's a one-time setup and after that you don't really touch it anymore. Everything will be automated in Shopify and in Google Ads. So if you add products to Shopify, they'll be automatically synced to the Merchant Center account. If you get a suspension, which we will talk about later in the videos, it will be shown on the top of the screen. It will be here in dark red. There will be a box saying your product has been disapproved, blah, 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 something like that. But we'll cover that in another video. I just wanted to show you guys how to make a Google Merchant Center account, what is Google Merchant Center account, and why it's so important for your business. Obviously, have a look at all the other sections here. You can see analytics and all of that. But obviously, like, I'm not gonna go too deep into this. This is the most important that you need to know to get started and make your first $1,000 per day. Bye.